when I was getting into filmmaking, I was like, what's like the ticket? What's the key? What's the secret hack to getting people to see my films, to getting my name as a filmmaker out there? A lot of filmmakers haven't really considered this because sort of the bad rap it gets. So I want to take a look at a few videos of people who have proven a method to indie filmmaking for short film, possibly even for features, but it's probably more only for the short film world, that when you do this, it is almost, if you at least do the extra work when the film is done, almost a guarantee that you are going to get views. The first guy I'm going to look at talks about how it works for festivals as well, interestingly enough. And I'm gonna give it to you right off the top, because there's a guy who did a short film and implemented this method and actually walked it through to the end and explained why it worked, explained what his thought process was, and actually got over 1 million views on his short film. The concept, the hack, is fan films. And everyone's seen a fan film. You might have made a fan film. And so if you're that person, I would love to hear your experience in the comments below. But let's take a look at what he has to say. And then I want to take a look at what another creator on YouTube did with a short fan film about Avatar: The Last Airbender. And let's consider what they have to say, because I think these are packed full of wisdom if you really lend your ear and pay attention and try to take what they're saying to heart and start letting your creative juices flow.
Things like fan films, for example. I'm directing a fan film right now, but most people kind of poo-poo the idea of fan films, which is kind of crazy to me, because fan films is interesting. When you think about doing a short film, right? If you're trying to practice your craft, well, when you get it done, you got to talk someone into watching it. Because what good is it if no one sees your work, right? You can get into festivals, and when you play a festival, more than likely, as a short, you'll be crammed into a block of shorts, and most of the people in the audience, and this is not being cynical here, this is reality. When you get shoved into a block of shorts, most people in the audience are the other filmmakers who made those other shorts. So it's just a smattering of other people, like they're only there waiting to watch their work, right? Anyway, you gotta get people to watch your film, and it's really hard to do. You go, oh, so yeah, you gotta watch my short. It's about this time traveler who went back in time and he meets his grandfather or whatever, right? Okay, if I have 15 minutes, how long is it? No, it's 25, no, man, I gotta find 25 minutes to watch a film. Or you make a fan film and they go, oh, I'm making a fan film about Splinter Cell. I love Splinter Cell. You made a fan film over that? Oh, too, I wanna check it out. So the name of the game, you gotta remember, is to get people to see what you're doing. Whether you're an actor or a cinematographer, director, it doesn't matter. Writer, you have to get people to see your work. And what's the shortest way to get that done? You got to look at, that's where the opportunities come in. And fan films have been great for me and for other filmmakers. I mean, look at the guy who directed 10 Cloverfield Lane, made a fan film about the video game Portal. That got him, boom, got him down the road. There's a guy I've heard who's working on a big franchise film who made a fan film for Bumblebee. That got him into some doors. Like there's many, many, many stories about people who did that and then they got to another level.
So he's literally saying that there are filmmakers who progressed in their career because they made a fan film. And what he's saying is super valid. Getting people to watch your film is one of the hardest things to do, because you can make the film. It's super difficult to make a film, to film it, to fit it within the schedule, to stay within budget, to be scrappy, to figure out all the details. And before all of that, writing the dang thing, like writing your story is, you got sticky notes all over the wall, you know? You're trying to make a cohesive beat to beat story with scenes and pages and scripts, and then you're like, all this dialogue is crap, like it doesn't feel real, and there are so many frustrations. And then the editing process takes so long, and you get at the end of the editing process and you've seen it 40 to 100 times through, and you're like, I don't know if this is actually good anymore. Throughout that whole process, nothing is harder than getting people to watch it. If you thought all of that was difficult, try to put it out on YouTube and get views. There's far too much competition. Now, I have had conversations and know a few people that are anomalies that their film kind of took off, and for some reason it's working really well, and there's not really an explanation for it, if we're being honest. Like, you can analyze it and try to guess, but at the end of the day, there's not a clear answer as to why. The majority of people, that is not the case. And unfortunately, if you're banking on the hope that you are one of those anomalies, that is a really dangerous place to put yourself in. And so what he is saying is that if people already have buy-in to an intellectual property, right, and you're just trying to use your film to become recognized, for people to understand, oh, this guy makes films, this guy makes good films, or this gal makes good films. I've seen their work. It was enjoyable. It was a good story. It was told really well. The dialogue was great. And the cinematography was excellent. Like, you just want people to know that about you, right? That's building your resume. You just want people to know that you can do the thing. But if no one ever watches, they don't know. And so a fan film is a great entry point. Let's take a look at this guy who did just that. He made a fan film in the Avatar: The Last Airbender genre, right? And what he did, he told a story about Toph, you know, the earthbending blind gal. And this is a video, a little documentary about how he wanted to make a film for YouTube that got 1 million views, and nothing he's ever done got 1 million views. So he was like, I'm gonna make this film and I'm going to try everything I can to get 1 million views. He's been on YouTube for years, and he just wanted to make something that got 1 million views. And this is him documenting this process. So I'm just gonna watch a little section of this video where he talks about this idea around making a fan film and why that was successful for him. Take a listen.
We uploaded the film and sat back and watched and watched and watched. Nothing really happened. We barely broke 1,000 views on the first day, and I started to panic. So Neil,
I'm gonna be honest, if I got 1,000 views, at least on my level, if I got 1,000 views in a day, I'd be like, it's doing pretty good. That's pretty hopeful to me. Maybe not for him.
my wife, and I started joining as many Avatar fan pages on Facebook as we could, and shared the film with whoever would listen. We probably joined 100 or so pages and spent the whole day just sharing the film. We got our first signs of success when we saw an overwhelmingly positive response on Facebook, as it was getting hundreds of reactions and comments per share, and we soon reached the 10,000s on YouTube. Then, finally, the YouTube algorithm picked it up. From June 1st to June 12th, it went from 30,000 to 990,000. We were all on the edge of our seats alongside the rest of the crew, the cast, friends, and family as we kept refreshing and refreshing until finally, on Sunday morning at 8:25 a.m., just as I was walking out the door to church, we hit it. 1 million views. Texts and messages poured in and were sent out. It was the first time so many of us had been a part of a video that reached over 1 million people. And we couldn't be more proud of ourselves. It may have taken 14 years, but finally that young kid who wanted to get 1 million views on YouTube had achieved his dream. But how did he do it? What was this prepubescent boy to learn that would someday allow him to accomplish this? One of the first things that I learned is that the work doesn't end when the film is uploaded. We spent weeks after the top film was uploaded sharing and reaching out to people to get it to the place that it is right now. Sharing your film with the right people is imperative. Make sure that your title and thumbnail accurately show what your film is. Then share it as a film I made. People are much more inclined to watch it if you say, look at this thing I made or was a part of, or I'd love to hear your thoughts, or so on. People really enjoy giving their opinions on stuff. It's also important to remember that YouTube will often wait until a few thousand people have seen your video before casting its judgment on it. It looks at things like retention rate, click-through rate, comments, and like ratio to determine how people are responding to it. So if you think about it that way, then you really only need to figure out how to get a couple thousand people to watch it. And if it's good, YouTube should handle the rest.
Maybe.
Another thing we learned is that you have to pick a topic that people are interested in. If you're looking at making a short film, the best ones tend to be fan films. And while that may not be the most popular idea, when you make something that already has a fan base, you will get way more eyes on it than if you made something original. That being said, it isn't just enough to make a fan film. People still crave originality. You can't just recreate something in live action and think that it's going to go viral. Just look at our Rock Bottom or Danny Phantom videos. Good videos that I'm very proud of, but offer little more than a cool live action recreation. The best fan films are the ones that expand on the lore in a meaningful and interesting way. Find a story, character, or setting that already has a following and expand on it.
And I think what he's done, like, this is kind of a proven method because he did it, right? And this is somebody who he was like, hey, I don't get views on YouTube. I've been doing this for over a decade of trying to grow on YouTube, trying to get attention, trying to get people to watch my stuff. And he just said, I want to make a film that's going to get 1 million views. And can we make that happen? And like he said, he uploaded it. Nothing happened really the first day. And it wasn't just being picked up by the algorithm. It wasn't just like YouTube was like, hey, I know where there's about 1 million people who love Avatar: The Last Airbender who would like to see your film. He went to Facebook. He shared it to people that are isolated into little cliques on the internet to make sure that it kind of starts picking up steam. And there is something to that when he says, if you get it going, then the algorithm can do the rest. Yes, that's true. Like, getting it going is valuable. There's also that element of, is the first, couple minutes of your film intriguing? Because if someone clicks, even on YouTube, the first part really matters. And so if people sit down and they're like, hey, I want to watch a short film, am I going to enjoy this? They're trying to make their decision in the first couple minutes of the film. They might understand and have a little bit more grace and not like first 30 seconds, right? It might give you a couple minutes, but they might not stick around for the whole thing if you don't grab them. So make sure, at least at the top of the film, you're getting right into the intrigue. You're getting right into the stuff that they feel like this beginning is promising me something more. It's promising me something I've never seen before that's being added to this IP that I love very much. I think it's a very valid idea to say, hey, I'm going to make a fan film. I'm going to do like a 10-minute, 15-minute, 20-minute fan film. And if you want another secret that I was thinking about actually in preparation for this video, try to do something that is going to trend that year, right? If you're like, hey, I'm going to do a fan film that's probably going to come out, say, in like August of 2025, well, check the release schedule around August and see what is going to be trending online around August. As far as like intellectual properties and stories, that might give you a guide of what you might want to actually, create around. And maybe you change your release date or change your schedule because there is something coming this year or the beginning of next year that you're like, if I could try to ride that wave with a fan film, there's going to be a lot of extra buzz online about this. Like, there's something to this. So take all of that as you will. I hope this is valuable. When I think about these processes, when I hear people say like, hey, at festivals, it'll get you attention. It could take you to the next level of recognition as a filmmaker. It's going to get a lot more people seeing your film on YouTube. And ultimately, that's all filmmakers need. They just need to do work over and over and over and over again to get better. And in the process, as they are growing, those potential people that are seeing your film just starts going up and up and up and up and up, and your reputation and influence as a filmmaker grows with it. Let me know in the comments if this is helpful. If you want to see more stuff like this, give it a like so I'm aware that you want to keep seeing videos like this, and subscribe to the channel if you know that you want to keep seeing videos like this in the future. We talk about filmmaking, we talk about ideas for filmmaking that's helpful to filmmakers, and we also dive into the future of filmmaking. Like, what is the future going to look like for filmmakers as they continue to express themselves through stories visually? And with that, I'll see you next time.